Okay, in this video, we'll talk about the chemical reactions of the 1,3-oxazolium 5-olate molecules with isothiocyanates and the isocyanates. Okay, and before starting this video lecture here, I want to clear all confusions regarding the cyanide, cyanate, as well as their iso and the thio counterparts. The first thing which you can see here is what it is the cyanide molecule, which we can always represent by RC triple bond N here. Okay, and isocyanide will be what? In this case, iso always means when the nitrogen atom, I mean the nitrogen atom comes first. Okay, so we used to call it as the isotype of molecule. Whenever nitrogen atom comes first, that will become isotype of molecule, right? So in this case, the isocyanide will be what? It will be the R single bond N triple bond C here. And obviously there will be present a positive charge here on the nitrogen and a negative charge here on the carbon atom. And I must add here that these positive and the negative charges are nothing. These are the formal charges here. Okay, and do not forget to put a lone pair of electrons on this carbon atom like this. And now the addition of an oxygen atom in case of this cyanide will convert it to a molecule of cyanate. Okay, so let me write here R single bond, this same C triple bond N means my cyanide, and what will happen is one oxygen atom here like this, and it will become my cyanate molecule. And of course, once again, iso will be what? It will be nitrogen coming first, or we can also say other way around that the bonding of this alkyl group here will be from this side of the species. I mean from this nitrogen atom, because it should come first, because we are calling it as now an isotype of cyanate. Okay, so that I can now write here R single bond nitrogen double bond carbon double bond oxygen. Okay, so this becomes an isocyanate molecule. Okay, and thio, you all know, as you all know that thio stands for the sulfur. Let me write here thio means the sulfur atom, right? So what we need to do is, if we want to draw here the structure or write here the structure of some thiocyanate, we just have to do is we have to change this oxygen atom with the sulfur atom, such that now I can write here for thiocyanate, it will be an R single bond sulfur here, single bond C triple bond N, and it will be my thiocyanate molecule, right? And in case of isothiocyanate, once again we can say that because of this iso prefix here, the nitrogen will come first. Okay, the nitrogen will come first, and also I can go other way around, means I can show the linkage of this R group from this nitrogen atom, and it will be what? It will be R single bond nitrogen double bond carbon double bond sulfur here, and it will be all like this here. Okay, now I think there is no confusion between the cyanide, isocyanide, cyanate, isocyanate, as well as the thiocyanate and the isothiocyanate. Okay, and it was important, yes, it was important, because in this particular video lecture we will be talking about the reactions of our mesoionic molecule. That is what? That is the 1,3 oxazolium 5-olate molecule with two different reactants. The first one is the isocyanate and the second one is the isothiocyanate, right? So right on your screen you can see this is the very first reaction, and this is what? This is my mesoionic heterocyclic molecule, and the second reactant is what? It is an isocyanate molecule, right? And on the product side, you can see here what is this. It is some cyclic type of adduct here, the cyclic type of adduct. Okay, and we all know that what is the reaction, what type of reaction is going on here. It is nothing, it is our 1,3 dipolar cycloaddition reaction, because what we have here is a type A of mesoionic molecule, and they always undergo what type of reactions? They undergo 1,3 dipolar cycloaddition type of reactions. Let me write here 1,3 dipolar cycloaddition type of reactions. Okay, in my previous videos we have seen that how we can represent any mesoionic molecule into an equivalent type of structure, and that is also possible here, and I can say that it will be like R1 single bond, this oxygen atom single bond nitrogen here, then is my R2 here single bond R3 single bond, and this will now be oxygen having a negative charge. What I need to do is I need to put two double bonds here, keeping this oxygen as a center of symmetry here, and it will be like this double bond and then this double bond here. Okay, and obviously because the nitrogen here is forming four bonds, so I need to put here a positive sign like this, and after that what I can do is I can draw here this second resonating structure, and it will be like this. These charges are shifting here such that now I can write here R1 single bond oxygen, all the structure as it is with a positive charge here, my R2. This will now be R3, and the carbon atom here bearing this R3 will now be having a negative charge like this. Okay, such that a double bond will now appear on this side because of the shifting of this negative charge in between this carbon and the oxygen atom. Okay, so here is the resonating structures, and these are equivalent to this structure here of our second mesoionic molecule, which is the 1,3-oxazolium 5-olate molecule. And what we are doing right now is we are interested in the chemical properties, or let us say the chemical reactions. And you can see here the second reactant is nothing but the isocyanate molecule, and we all know that it will be undergoing a 1,3 dipolar type of cycloaddition, resulting in the formation of this type of cyclic adduct here. And now the idea behind the conversion of this structure here, this structure here, into the second equivalent structure, this one here, is that the mechanism, or to understand the mechanism of this reaction, becomes quite easy for us. Okay, so now I can show here the this is my 1,3 dipole. Let me write here, it is my 1,3 dipole here, and the isocyanate will be what? It will be acting as the dipolarophile in this cycloaddition reaction. So let me write here R single bond nitrogen, double bond carbon, double bond oxygen here. Okay, so now the next thing which I need to show here is that with which carbon atom out of nitrogen, carbon and oxygen the negative end of this 1,3 dipole will be interacting. Okay, so it will be easy and quick for me if I say that this carbon atom here is having a lot of partial positive charge, because it is bonded to two electronegative elements. One is nitrogen, second is oxygen atom. So what they are doing is they are withdrawing, they are attracting the electrons towards themselves and making this carbon atom a lot electropositive in nature. Okay, so now I can show here the interaction of my negative end of the dipole with this carbon atom of the isocyanate molecule, and it will be like this here. Okay, and now after that, out of the nitrogen and the oxygen atom, one atom will be interacting with this carbon atom of the 1,3 dipole, which will be having a positive charge. Okay, So do remember, I can always represent this thing in the form of a 1,3 dipole, and it will be something like nitrogen, and this is having a negative charge. When these bonds will shift here onto this nitrogen, a positive charge will appear like this, and this is my 1,3 dipole. Okay. Now, regioselectively talking out of this nitrogen and oxygen, the nitrogen atom will be interacting with the positive end of my dipole, I mean this carbon atom, or let us say this carbon atom in this structure here. The reason being, because out of nitrogen and oxygen, this atom, that is the nitrogen, is less electronegative, and it can easily donate its electrons to some carbon atom having a positive charge, right? So that now I can show the interaction, and it will be like in between this nitrogen and this carbon atom here, which is behaving as an electropositive carbon atom of my 1,3 dipole. I mean this 1,3 dipole, which I can always represent it in this way, right? So now, because our regioselectivity means, let me write here the regioselectivity. The regioselectivity issue is over, and we know the negative and the positive end of our dipole will be interacting with what two atoms in this dipolarophile. What is this? It is my dipolarophile. It is my dipolarophile here, right? So that I can show here the transition state like this. And now it's time to move further. Now what will happen is, I can always show it like this, means the R here, the R single bond nitrogen, this will now become a single bond carbon here, double bond oxygen, and because it is interacting with this, I mean this carbon atom having R3 here, I mean R3, and it is also attached to a double bond oxygen, single bond oxygen here like this, and it is also having one R1 here, and this is also bonded to what? It is bonded to this nitrogen atom. Moreover, there is also present a second nitrogen atom in between this carbon atom and this carbon atom, and also it is having one R2 group here like this. Okay, so here is the cyclic adduct, and you can very well compare this adduct here which we have got, I mean this adduct here, with what I have shown in the starting of this reaction, which is this cyclic adduct here. Okay, so these are exactly same. Okay, now the matter of concern here is that, like we have done some previous examples in which we used to do what? We used to release a molecule of carbon dioxide like this here. I mean these electrons shifting to this oxygen atom, giving a negative charge here, and then it shifts, this negative charge shifts here, sending these electrons onto this carbon atom bearing this R3 group, giving a negative charge here, and because these two electrons are going onto the oxygen atom, so definitely when this bond will break from here, and from here what will happen is a negative charge will come here, and definitely a positive charge will appear on this carbon atom having R1 and this nitrogen atom. Okay, now the question here is that why it is not undergoing the elimination of a molecule of carbon dioxide, giving some 5-membered ring structure here, a 5-membered ring structure here. So the reason here is what? That if this will be going in this direction, what will happen is, you can see a positive charge is coming on this carbon atom, and because now adjacent to this carbon atom having a positive charge, there are present two nitrogen atoms which are electronegative in nature. So obviously they will be intensifying this positive charge. Okay, so what is going to happen is, let me show here, this is the nitrogen atom single bond we are talking about this carbon atom. Now it is having what? A positive charge. It is also bonded to a second nitrogen atom, which is this one here. So these are the two nitrogens bonded to the same carbon atom having a positive charge. Being electronegative, let me write here, being electronegative, what they will be doing is they will be attracting the electrons towards themselves, whatever are present on this carbon atom. So they will be exerting some electron withdrawing inductive effect towards them. And because of that, what will happen is this positive charge will keep on intensifying. It will go higher and higher and higher like this. Okay, so intensification of charge, let me write here, intensification of charge means what? If charge gets intensified, the reactivity also goes higher, the reactivity also increases. And what happens to the stability? The stability definitely decreases. Okay, so this means if we want to eliminate a molecule of CO2, it is fine. We should have something very stable type of structure here, but in between we will be experiencing some sort of transition, not transition state, some sort of intermediate in which this carbon atom is having a positive charge, and definitely it is not going towards stability. Yes, it is going towards instability because of the two nitrogen atoms which are present here as well as here. Okay, and intensification of charges means instability as far as the chemistry is concerned. So we will say that the reaction will stop definitely at this point here, and it will not be releasing a molecule of CO2. It will not be going towards that direction, resulting in the formation of some 5-membered ring structure. And the reaction will definitely stop here at this stage. So this was the case of the reaction with the isocyanate molecules. And now let us have a look what is going to happen when instead of isocyanate, we are having some isothiocyanate. Okay, and you can see here the nitrogen is coming first, so definitely it is something iso, and because of the presence of this sulfur here, this will be a thio here, the thiocyanate. Okay, so it is an isothiocyanate, and on this side I am having my mesoionic, that is what? That is the 1,3-oxazolium 5-olate molecule. Okay, and now at one look we can see here in this that this reaction is going in this direction, resulting in the formation of this type of cyclic adduct here, and moreover that is also eliminating a molecule of CO2, resulting in the formation of a stable structure here. Let me write here a stable structure here. Okay, so we will learn in this reaction that why this reaction here is not stopping at this stage, and it is releasing a molecule of CO2 and going in this direction, resulting in the formation of this type of stable product. What is the reason behind this? Okay, so we will be dealing with all these questions right now. As far as this reaction is concerned, two different pathways are occurring at the same time, and whatever product formation you can see here, that is this 5-membered ring structure here, it is the product of one of these pathways. Okay, so we will be discussing here both the pathways one by one, but first of all let me talk about the second pathway, I mean this one here. Okay, so the second pathway is what? It is our regular mesoionic reaction. Let me write here the regular mesoionic reaction with the dipolarophile, and it is actually a regular 1,3 dipolar cycloaddition reaction. Okay, it is a 1,3 dipolar cycloaddition reaction. So now let us see what is going to happen here in this case. So we can always represent this mesoionic molecule into an equivalent structure as we have done in the previous slide. So it will be like what? It will be like R1 here, single bond oxygen, and this will now be R2 here, single bond R3. Okay, I am sorry, I forgot to put one nitrogen atom here in this, and it will be present here. Like, let me write one nitrogen atom here. This is my 1,3-oxazolium 5-olate mesoionic molecule, and right now we are talking about the second pathway. Both the pathways will be occurring simultaneously, resulting in the formation of two different types of products. Okay, whatever reaction you can see here, I mean in this direction, it is occurring in one of the pathway and resulting in the formation of a stable 5-membered structure here, which you can see right on your screen. Okay, and right now we are talking about the second pathway, which is our regular 1,3 dipolar cycloaddition reaction. So this means what? That whatever reaction I have shown here, I mean this thing and the formation of this thing, it is not some regular 1,3 dipolar cycloaddition reaction, right? So it is not some regular 1,3 dipolar cycloaddition reaction. It is some other type of reaction. We will come to this reaction later on, but let us see what is going to happen if I am adding a molecule of isothiocyanate in my mesoionic compound and we are going towards a regular 1,3 dipolar cycloaddition reaction. So what is going to happen is I can always represent my mesoionic in this way, an equivalent type of structure, and it will be like a double bond oxygen here, a negative charge, double bond with a positive sign here on this nitrogen atom. Okay, so this is the resonating structure of an equivalent structure for this mesoionic, and we have done this so many times. I don't think there will be present any confusion in this. Okay, and on this side I am having what? I am having my phenyl, single bond nitrogen, double bond carbon, double bond sulfur here. I means my dipolarophile, which is this isothiocyanate. Okay, so as we have discussed on the previous slide, this carbon atom here is highly electropositive. So once again, in the same way, the negative end of my dipole will be going to interact with this carbon atom in this way here, and in the same way this nitrogen will be interacting with this carbon atom or the positive end of the 1,3 dipole of my mesoionic in this way, resulting in the formation of a transition state. A concerted type of mechanism will surely be following, finally giving me what? It will give me a phenyl single bond nitrogen here. This will now become a single bond carbon, double bond sulfur here. It will now be bonded to this carbon atom having R3 substituent. Once again a single bond here, a double bond oxygen, then a single bond oxygen here, and then this carbon atom to which one R1 group is attached, and this will definitely be attached to this nitrogen atom. And do not forget to put the second nitrogen here, and it will be like this having the R2 group here, right? So once again, following the 1,3 dipolar type of cycloaddition mechanism, the things are exactly same, and we cannot say that a molecule of CO2 will be eliminating from here because of the same reason, because when these electrons will be shifting here onto this, and then a negative charge will appear here with a positive sign here, shifting of these electrons will take place here and it will shift like this, giving a negative charge. And if we are saying that a molecule of CO2 will go out of the system like this here, a positive charge is appearing on this carbon atom, and once again because it is bonded to two nitrogen atoms which are electronegative in nature, so it will be intensifying this positive charge, and this reaction will be going towards instability. Let me write here, it will be going towards instability, and thus the CO2 elimination, like we have discussed in the previous case, will not be taking place, and the reaction will stop here at this stage, resulting in the formation of this adduct here, which will be stable in nature, right? Okay, now let us see what is going to happen in the first pathway. So we are having the same mesoionic molecule, and I can always represent it in the form of an equivalent structure, means oxygen here, double bond, nitrogen positive, I mean the same thing here, having R2 single bond, this is having R3 here, negative sign, and this is having a double bond oxygen, right? Now, please listen carefully. What is going to happen in the first pathway, which is occurring simultaneously with this second pathway? What is going to happen is it will be going to react with this C6H5 single bond nitrogen, double bond carbon, double bond sulfur here. But definitely this is not a 1,3 dipolar cycloaddition reaction. It is not that same mechanism. Instead, it is some sort of stepwise tandem reaction, which is assisted by what? I mean the conditions. I'm talking about the conditions. It is assisted by microwave irradiation method, right? So what is going to happen is in such a reaction, this negative end will be interacting with this nitrogen atom, and this carbon atom here will be interacting with this carbon atom, right? So that we will now be having the phenyl, I mean this phenyl here, single bond nitrogen, and here it will be now a single bond, double bond sulfur here. This carbon is now attached to a carbon atom having the R1 group, and this is bonded to oxygen, double bond oxygen here, single bond. This is also bonded to one R3 here, and this is further bonded to this nitrogen atom, right? And it is also having one nitrogen more, which is having the R2 group like this, okay? And now if you compare this cyclic adduct here, with what I have shown right here, these are the same structures, right? And now in this case, a molecule of CO2 will definitely go out of the system, and it will be like this. I mean, these electrons are shifting here and these electrons are going here, resulting in the formation of what? Resulting in the formation of one N here, a phenyl, then this C double bond S, which is bonded to a carbon atom having R1. This will be having a positive sign because the electrons are moving from here to here, and it is further bonded to one N here having R2. Further here we are having what is our R3, and this will now be having a negative sign, and it is bonded to this nitrogen atom, right? And now it is just a matter of representation, that we can also represent what structure we have got here into this type of structure, right? So the whole idea here is what? That okay, fine, we are talking about the reactions of the mesoionics with isocyanate and the isothiocyanate. We have seen what will happen when the reactant is some sort of isocyanate. A 1,3 dipolar cycloaddition mechanism will be operating, and the reaction will stop here at the adduct stage, that is the cyclic adduct stage. It will no longer be releasing a molecule of CO2, because in that case the reaction will be going towards the instability, right? So this is the final product here. If we are adding some isocyanate in our mesoionic molecule, that's it, okay? And the second reaction here is what? We are having that same mesoionic molecule, but this time instead of some isocyanate, we are adding now isothiocyanate, okay? And in doing so, if we are carrying out the reaction in some microwave type of conditions, these are nothing, these are actually the reaction conditions. We will be providing microwave irradiation to this reactant and this reactant here, okay? So in that case, what is going to happen is two pathways will be occurring simultaneously. This is the first pathway and this is the second pathway here, right? And what is going to happen in the second pathway is a regular 1,3 dipolar cycloaddition mechanism, and this type of transition state will be there, and there will be no release of CO2 because this reaction don't want to go towards instability. The reaction will stop here at this stable adduct formation, such that we can say that in this regular 1,3 dipolar cycloaddition, we will be having same type of adduct as we were getting in case of reaction of the same mesoionic with isocyanate molecule. And the same thing is happening with isothiocyanate even. We will be having this stable adduct in this way here, right? And also, let's not forget that there will be occurring a second pathway here, and this pathway will be following totally a different kind of reaction, totally a different kind of mechanism even, and it will be a stepwise tandem reaction. No need to go into the details of this reaction because we are interested only in the 1,3 dipolar cycloaddition type of reactions as far as our mesoionics are concerned. Okay, so whatever mechanism is operating here, let's not talk about that, and let's not go away from our subject matter. So what will be happening is it will result in the formation of this type of cyclic adduct molecule, but this time it will be releasing a molecule of CO2 definitely, because this reaction will be going towards a thermodynamically more stable structure, which is what? Which is this structure here that can be represented in this form, which is a stable type of structure. Moreover, we can also add here that when these electrons will be coming here, it will result in the formation of a negative charge instead of a positive charge here on this carbon atom, to which two nitrogen atoms are attached. Okay, so now what is going to happen is, because of the presence of two nitrogen atoms, the first one here, the second one here, and they are electronegative, they will be having an electron withdrawing inductive effect here. So definitely this negative charge will be going to disperse, and it will be adding to the stability of this structure here. So that is why this reaction will be occurring in this direction here. Okay, so it won't be stopping at this stage because it will be resulting in the formation of something stable, something more stable, and that is why removal of CO2 will take place, resulting in the formation of this product molecule. Okay, so it should be clear to all of you that there are two pathways, there are two different mechanisms here. The first one is the some different kind of reaction, that is a tandem and a stepwise mechanism in which the cyclic adduct formed that will be undergoing the elimination of a molecule of CO2, resulting in the formation of something stable product here, and it will be this. And there will also be occurring a second pathway which will be following a regular 1,3 dipolar cycloaddition mechanism, but that is going to stop at this stage without eliminating the molecule of CO2, because this is a stable adduct here and it don't want to go towards instability because of the presence of a positive charge here on this carbon atom, to which two nitrogen atoms are attached. Okay, so this is all about the reactions of 1,3 oxazolium 5-volate molecules with isocyanate as well as the isothiocyanate. So thank you so much.